Hi, this is Patty Hodge, and this is Dr. Nurse's Rock. And this is one of 30 videos for the month of April on the topic of grief. Today's very special guest is Mrs. Paige Ewing, who you will recognize as Mrs. America. And I'm so thrilled that she has come to our channel to talk to us today. So welcome, Paige.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I'm so grateful that you came. And
Mm.
I'm going to truly let you introduce yourself after I say
Mhm.
that Paige is a trauma-informed grief counselor.
Mhm.
And I would hope that she'll give us the whole scoop.
Mhm.
So will you start somewhere, Paige?
I will. Thank you for having me, Patty. Hey, everybody. My name is Paige Ewing, and I am the current reigning 2025 Mrs. America. Not to be confused with Miss, so Mrs. comes with the married version. So last summer, I decided to compete in my local state pageant for Mrs. Georgia, and I won that and went on 2 months later to Mrs. America, won that. And just recently in January, got to represent the nation of America at the Mrs. World pageant, and I got first runner up. So almost. But as my girls say, they think the Mrs. America title is much cooler. They didn't want me to have to give that up. But the reason why I stepped back into pageantry after 20 years of not walking on the stage was because of grief, because of how grief affected my life and then what I wanted to do. A lot of pageant contestants have what they call a platform. It's an initiative, a community service, something that they're just really passionate about. And last year, when I finally got my certification as a trauma informed grief coach, I knew I could really broaden and accelerate my reach with a pageant force behind me, because you walk into a room with a sash or a crown on and you immediately are handed a microphone. It's incredible to see the doors that open through pageantry, and I wanted to spread the message of grief support, and my platform is surviving grief, navigating life after loss. And I'll give a quick background of my story and we can dive into it as the conversation develops.
Yep.
But actually, 10 years ago in 2016, my father passed away. I wouldn't say unexpectedly, it was just so quick. He was diagnosed with cancer. And 7 weeks later, he passed away. And so for us, we thought we've got time. We're going to fight this. We're going to do treatments. And that just was not God's plan for his life. And so that's the first experience that I had with grief taking residence inside of my body. Not just losing someone and you're sad about it, but truly your nervous system, your physiological abilities, everything just completely rewiring. And as a young woman, I was 32, 33 years old at the time, and I had two young daughters. I'm a stay at home mom, and trying to just navigate and balance. This is what life is like now that I don't have my dad. But on top of that, my sister and I inherited a business, and I was the executor of his estate. And so imagine, getting knocked down and then piling all this paperwork on top and saying, hey, now figure all this out with your grief brain. After that, every single year for 8 years, we lost a family member. A lot of them, my cousins, my grandparents, but ultimately my core family unit of my dad, my brother, and then my mom. And I became very passionate about helping women, especially mothers, but you don't have to be a mom, figure out how to do life while carrying grief, trying to live the duality of both joy and grief, management, but also sorrow. And so that's why I became a trauma informed grief coach, is to help other women walk through the same path that I did.
Well, I certainly can identify with what you're talking about as far as the loss goes. I've never tried to be a Mrs. or Miss America.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful that you were handed the microphone and able to move forward with this because grief is not a topic that people talk about. That's the whole reason that I did this. I mean, this is an anniversary for us. 10 years ago, we lost my daughter-in-law. But of course, I'm 70 years old, so I've had many, 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 many losses over the years. But this one changed my entire life. So I can see how this would encourage someone with your heart to want to do something about it for people.
Yes, ma'am.
So So that's how you got into doing the grief thing.
Right. Hmm.
What do you, how do you work with people in this trauma-informed way?
I work virtually. We do Zooms just like this. It's, you know, amazing. The technology allows access to people across the world in different time zones. And so I currently do one-on-one with women, but this month I'm actually going to be filming a video course. My goal is to create a 12-week online video course about grief and what it is, how it affects your body, but more importantly, how can you move through it? What are tools? What are techniques? What are coping mechanisms? What are healing methods that can help you on the daily? And so that's what I plan on creating in this month, and hopefully it'll be out by the end of the summer.
Oh, very nice, very cool. You'll see if you look at any of the videos this month that we have a lot of people that have been doing trauma work for a while,
That's
and some psychologists and social workers, and so this grief counseling field or this grief coaching. It seems to be a newer way of approaching
right, right,
grief.
right. So there's a difference between a coach and a counselor and a therapist. A counselor and a therapist, you have to be licensed. There's
Right.
a board that governs over that. A coach, there's no licensing, there's no governing board over that, but you can get certified to do that. And when I first lost my dad, I immediately jumped into counseling because I knew this is what I need. I went to go see a Christian counselor, and it was helpful for a while, but what I didn't realize is how hard it was going to be for me. And as a young person too, I thought, I just want to stop crying. I just want it to feel better. And counseling, every time I went, I just cried and cried and cried. And I said, I'm just tired of always being sad. I'm going to take a break. My heart needs a break. And honestly, I never went back. And then after my dad passed, 15 months later, my younger brother passed away.
Oh my.
And I knew, okay, let's go back. Let's go back to counseling. Again, did it for a little while. But what I realized is that so much of counseling for me, what I was receiving, was talking about the past and talking about how much I miss them and how I wish things were different. And they were excellent listeners and encouragers. But I needed someone to tell me, how do I wake up tomorrow and function on a daily basis? Give me practical steps to move through this so that I'm just not falling behind. And yes, grief is going to make you slow down. It's meant to make you take a moment and a rest, and it changes your motivation. It changes your energy. That is normal. That is common. And what I didn't know at the time, I didn't know those things.
Mhm.
Counselors weren't telling me those things. And as a coach, that's my job. I want to walk alongside you in this journey, just like coach in training. They're giving you these tools, these techniques, these tips. Hey, try this, try that. And they're with you and they're watching you along the way. So that's where my passion is being able to walk alongside women in this journey as a coach.
That's great. So that does make it clear what when people start to look for help.
Mhm.
Sometimes they do need therapy. And
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
sometimes you won't know that until you're going down the road and you're not feeling better and what you're trying to do with your coping is not working properly. And so
Absolutely.
we'll address some of that too in this series when the coping isn't the best.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
coaching is seems like an exciting field. It seems like it's perfect for you. It seems like people will be really helped by hearing what your techniques and tools and just being beside them
Yes.
brings for them. What are some of the tools that you would recommend?
You know, I actually had a conversation just yesterday on Facebook Messenger. A sweet woman reached out and she said that her father is ill. He's been ill for a very long time and he's close to the end of his life. And his family was discussing hospice. And so she knows it's coming. And she was describing to me, anticipatory grief.
Yeah.
She didn't use that word, but I knew that's what she was experiencing when you're anticipating the loss of someone to come. She just said, I can't stop crying. Is there anything to help this? Is there anything to help make it better? And so I wrote to her, and this is my advice to anyone listening. Micro joys are the way to move through macro grief. It's the
Perfect.
little things. It's the little things. So, the things that I still use to this day, you never get over it. You have this toolbox. And so, my advice to her was, obviously excellent to talk to somebody. You know, if you have a friend, a trusted source, a local pastor, even, you know, therapist, counselor, a coach. But if you don't have that, the things that you can do on the daily is get outside. Make sure you are soaking yourself in nature somehow, some way, moving your body, even if it's taking just a walk around the neighborhood. If you can get to the gym or if you can do an at home class on YouTube, move your body because our emotions need to move through us. They can't stay stagnant. And what's amazing about the way God created us is that you can't fix a thought with another thought. You have to use the other tools that He's given us, and
Right.
movement, even creativity, even if it's diving into something as simple as like adult coloring, or if you like to craft, or if you like to bedazzle or stone, something that's taking you out of that cycle, that grief cycle. I told her, you know, music is so therapeutic. Listening to your favorite songs. It doesn't have to be worship songs. It can be songs from your childhood that immediately spark moments of joy. Very important, which we neglect the first and foremost, is nutrition. I said, make sure every single day you're eating a healthy, real meal. Don't neglect your nutrition because we need that brain health. We need that gut health to help us function through our grief. I even said something as simple as ride with your windows down. You know, feel the wind through your air. So there's no one big fix. It's like, hey, if you do this or if you think this way, it's going to make it all better. It's small daily doses of micro grief to help with the macro. I mean, micro joy to help with the macro pain. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's wonderful and right in tune with the things that we have promoted here
good.
on our channel.
Mhm.
So, but we don't have the same platform as Mrs. America, and I'm grateful that you've graced us with your
Thank
presence
you.
today. And I do hope that you'll be part of the community in some way here. If people reach out and want some information, we'll tell
Absolutely.
them how to reach you. We'll
Yes.
put that
So
in.
I thank you so much for promoting that. I have a website and it's my name, Paige Ewing
Okay.
studio. Who knew that websites could end in a studio? But I'm also a photographer. I do headshots as well. So I love that it tied that in. So pageewing.studio is my website. And if you go to the top menu, you'll look under Good Grief Girlfriend. So Good Grief Girlfriend is my coaching business name. I like to play on words.
I love that.
Thank you. Because
Well,
in all, I want to provide the service of I'm not just this know-it-all who's going to tell you how to fix your life. Like
right.
I'm a girlfriend. You know, I am going to walk alongside you in this and listen and cry with you and pray with you and support you. I want that relationship to feel safe, just like a girlfriend.
Well, that's great. I wish I had a girlfriend like that when I was, well, I did have a girlfriend like that when I was growing up.
That's
Very
wonderful.
supportive and actually we are honoring her as well in a video too as she's passed a while ago. So um the idea of being present for people, of being their friend, of understanding their heart, of knowing that grief is going to visit, but there are ways to mediate it and to move through it. And I certainly will put all of these links below for people to find you.
Thank you.
Paige, I'm I think one of the questions I really wanted to ask you before we went away was about something to think about, girls and self-esteem. Obviously, that's something it seems like it's important to you too. I've seen that on your
Mhm.
post somewhere.
Yes, my
Um,
Instagram and Facebook.
yes.
Talk a lot about that. Yes, ma'am.
And I think that it would be a good topic to address even in the grief category, because when girls are experiencing things that are damaging to their self-esteem, that is a grief.
Oh, yeah. A grief is any loss that you did not want to happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Be it home, relationship, dreams. We can grieve all those things.
So I think that that may be one of the paths that I'll take throughout these 30 days. And I will hopefully remember to send people back to their the selves that they were meant to be.
Right, right. And speaking on top of that, I think that the self-esteem and the identity and how we operated before grief affected our lives the common natural goal is I just want to go back to who I was.
Right.
I just want to be myself again. There's good news and there's bad news. I'll start with the bad news. You know this. You never go back to that version of who you were before that loss in your life. But you can grow into a better, higher level, whole, more healed version and a person that you never thought you would be capable of becoming. But when walking through grief journey and grief healing the right way, it can just produce the most beautiful version of who God is transforming you into be. I can easily say I wish none of that ever happened. But to be honest, if I look back at who I was before, I was a fourth of the version that I am now
Yeah.
because of that. And so I am grateful for how I've grown through it more than anything.
I can't thank you enough. And
Thank you.
I'm so pleased that you came to visit us today. And I hope you come back.
Invite me back. I'd love to be back, and I can't wait to see all the other series. I'm going to have my notepad. I'm going to be learning from everybody. I think this is an excellent idea. I love that you're doing it in the month of April. For me personally, that's significant. Today would have been my mom's 69th birthday, and she passed in the month of April, April 10th. So it's a tender month for me, and I think that I'm going to learn a lot from all of your series. So thank you for doing this
Well,
for
thank you.
everyone, especially me.
Thank you, Paige. I guess we'll sign off now.
Yes, ma'am.
But I am, again, very grateful to you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. I appreciate your having me.
Bye for now.